Jika aku bukan bagimu。
伊莎，等一下那个 slide 你 show 了啦，现在没有来不及 send 给我了。
可以。
哦。
微信会 Q 我哈。
呀。
when 他要 share 的时候，他会讲一下。
就是有一个 PowerPoint， 有一个是一个 one slide 的哈。
Yeah. It's 2:45 a.m. You know, I think we need to launch the thing.
OK， 我们可以看的吗 ？Whether we can actually， 不可以啊，一开了就是进来了哦。
Yeah. Do you want me to start already?
So 我 confirm 一下哈，
等一下咯，Don't worry。
video 是我这边 play 哦，所以是 Tammy introduce 后我就 play 微信的 video，then 微信会 prompt 我 show 那个 PowerPoint， 还有一个是 one slide 的哈。
one slide 的那个是 for our breakfast 是吗？
你的 email 有 send 我2个东西是吗？
我的 email 没有，那个不用管，你只管 PowerPoint 就可以了。
哦 ，OK， 很好 ，got it。
还有那个 所以那个 R breakfast 的那个 follow up QR code， 那个是 William 那边是吗 ？William， 我听不到你。
那个我 share。OK，
你们 coordinate 就可以了，好吗？
哦，所以那个 R breakfast 你 share 的我就关掉。
你 share 微信的那个 slide 而已。
微信的 slide 还有那个 video 哈。可以。
宇轩啊，如果要 start 的话，你就不要唱歌了。
All the best.
Amy, remember? OK， 我要 off。
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining me over here today. While we are here, we'll wait for more people to come in. Also, let's take a minute for all of us to come in. And meanwhile, if you've been here early, you have seen the countdown timer. I saw something very interesting just now. I was watching the timer going like counting down, and then I realized the timer has a name. The timer is called Mr. Timer, if you guys also have realized. So once again, thanks for joining us over here. I would like to check a little bit for friends who are here. Can you help me say hi in the chat box over here? Maybe you can tell me, obviously when you type, you need to actually do to all panelists and attendees, then only all of us can actually see your answer. So friends who have been here early, maybe you can type in the chat box over here, say hi to me. My name is Tammy Chu. I'm the host for today's R Factor, basically for all the R Factor series. And if you have been here seeing the countdown timer just now, tell me, did you notice the timer has a name and it's called Mr. Timer? And I found it actually quite intriguing. Hi Ting, hi Ryan, thanks for saying hi. Yes, I am Tammy Chu, the host today. While we wait for more friends to come in, come and say hi to me and remember to type to all panelists and attendees. Yes, Mr. Timer. Hi Rick, hi Pauline, hi all. Thanks for joining me here today. And meanwhile, if you're here already, hi Desmond, hi Maurice. What did you have for lunch just now? I had Western food. They were asking me what I had for lunch. I'm like, need to think. Apparently I have short-term memory. I just ate and I forgot what I eaten. Hi Rafael. Thanks for saying hi everybody. Hi Christabel. Hi. So today we are doing the the third series of the R Factor. So I'm your host today for Tammy Chu, and welcome and thank you for joining us for R Factor. Today is the third episode. This is a series of interactive webinars. Interactive meaning we would love to hear from you in the chat if you have anything to say, if you have any questions to ask. And it touches on the topic of the current job market and more. In each episode, we will invite some of our friends to share their real life experience and true feelings and perspective. And we hope to inspire you to bring more positive changes to your lives. In the first segment, we had retrenchments as a topic. We covered your ideal career subsequently in this revolutionary world and stuff like that. And today's topic is the R factor. Do you have what it takes to be a financial planner? So before I actually start, everybody, some house rules. If you have just joined us, if you're on Zoom on the laptop, on the bottom bar is the chat function. If you're on your phone, there was also a chat function, but I think it's on the bottom, I don't know, maybe left or right. Tell me if you're on your phone, is it on the left side or on the right side? So type in the chat box to all panelists and attendees so that I can see that all of you can actually respond over here. And I would love to hear from all of you as well throughout this whole time. And while we're doing that, let me start with the standard tagline that we have for R Factor. Most choose to ignore the inevitable. We choose to face up to it. The R Factor. Are you ready? And I am Tammy Chu once again for friends who just joined us. I have a lot of things I would love to share with you, but obviously today I am not the main speaker. But before I go to that, before I introduce him, I want to share something with everyone here because we know it's a rather, some call it a new norm, some call it a difficult time, a trying time. And I have a lot of friends around me, even myself, going through some rough patches this year. So for example, I have this very close secondary school classmate of mine. She was a senior executive in an MNC. She worked there for about 8 years, had a high 4-figure salary drawing from that work, that position. But she felt she had no kind of job fulfillment. There was no advancement path. You need to kind of wait for the old ones to actually step down before she has a chance to actually promote. So she felt like it's really not something for her, even though she's been there for a long time. She got really stable income from this MNC. She decided to quit her job in the beginning of the year. That was before COVID. She took a 1-month break before starting to find another job. And that's when COVID suddenly hit. Initially, she didn't actually feel it. She's like, okay, I'm going to just take my time, I'm just going to choose a job that gives me more fulfillment, has better work environment, more prospects. But after a few months of trying to find that ideal job, she realized it's not going anywhere. Because in COVID, it's difficult, jobs are already rare and people get retrenched. So she just decided after that to apply for any job in the market. But after a few months, she still cannot find a job, and it's been 11 months now. So right now, she's working as a substitute teacher, and that's part-time. But teaching is really not her ideal job. But to do that, she decided that she wants to take up a MOE course to be a full-time teacher, because you don't have the MOE cert, you can only be a substitute teacher for about a year. So that's her current plan right now. But still, her initial plan of finding fulfillment, it's clashing with reality. I'm sure this is a story that's pretty familiar to all of you. You have friends around you, or perhaps you're going through something like that. So today, let's discuss about this. We have this option right now. Today's topic we mentioned, do you have what it takes to be a financial planner? And is this something that can actually have that balance between your fulfillment and the reality of the current job market? So obviously, I am not the financial planner over here. So we have plenty of questions. I have plenty of questions I will love to ask later. But before I introduce the person I'm going to ask the questions to, let's take a look at a short video of him. So video, please. Meanwhile, we are here, friends. Remember to go to the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Thank you. I realized there was no background music, but it's fine. I think the pictures alone are exciting enough to show what kind of life he's leading. So meanwhile, before I ask him on camera, I'm gonna just do a very brief introduction of our speaker today, Mr. Wee Seng. So Wee Seng is a dear friend of mine, which I've known only for a very short time, but has already become a dear friend. You can see his screen starting turning to focus right now. So Wee Seng, he is a business leader, valued member of Unicorn Investing Committee, a trainer for advanced financial planners, and he is a veteran with more than 15 years of experience. And he leads a team of 6 financial professionals serving more than 400 households. He is also a member of the Unicorn Investing Committee that oversees over 400 million in assets. So thank you so much, Wee Seng, for joining me today. I'm ready to ask you a lot of tough questions. I hope after today, we'll still be friends.
Hello,
Wee Seng, say
Tammy.
hi.
Yeah, hello, Tammy. I think you'll be honored to be interrogated by a celebrity. So I am hoping for the best. And hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today in this session. Thanks to all the audience. Hello, everyone. Nice to see everyone here. Yes, Tammy, how can we proceed on this?
Okay, just now during tech run, you don't look so nervous yet. I see the stress is coming.
You know, just now the montage, I was just thinking that the last time I have such kind of montage when I was married. It was during my wedding day, I have a montage. That was so many years ago. Thanks to one of my partner who did this for me. He said we should have a short video to show your exciting life.
Yes, it's definitely necessary. And people are saying hi to you over here.
Oh,
Desmond
thanks.
saying hi.
Thanks.
Guan Ning saying hi. Oh, you look great today, by the way, he said.
Because I got a beautiful lady beside me, that's why.
Oh, sweet talker, but I love praises. Keep it coming.
Yep.
So, well, of course, I'm going to sugarcoat a bit and make you happy before I ask you the tough questions. Let's start with something really simple. Maybe you can give a brief sharing. How did you end up being a financial planner, we say?
Okay. Just a quick one. That was so many years ago, right? I was a client. I benefited as a client. I witnessed how meaningful and fulfilling it was. So under the recommendation of my consultant, I joined. It's as simple as that. Just interestingly speaking, there is over 90% of unicorn consultant, in fact, are clients before we join. Yeah, so that's how I became a consultant.
So over 90%
Yep.
are actual clients first before joining. Oh, that's a whooping amount of number actually, 90%. Does that mean that I have the possibility to become one too? I've been a client for over 10 years right now. Okay, don't answer me, don't answer me. I'm gonna ask you the next question, okay? So we've seen from the video, right? Oh, somebody say, of course, tell me. Okay, so we see on the video, you're a very energetic person, a lot of positive vibes. Tell me what gets you so positive and excited every day, to do what you do.
Uh, I got excited when I have a chance to speak to Tammy today. I was just sharing with my wife that, this is going to be a great day. I wouldn't say that every day I'm so excited and so enthusiastic. There are days that I wake up from the wrong side of my bed. Just last week I sprained my back. I don't know why. I wake up, I feel my back aching. I couldn't even stand up well. You see, but majority of my time, I think I enjoy what I do, and I believe it's important because you spend more than 8 hours a day working. If you're not happy with your work, how happy can you be, right? So that's something I really believe into it. But when you ask me about why am I so happy working every day in my professions, maybe to bless our audience here, I just want to share maybe two main points. The first one is actually the meaning and the fulfillment in what I do. And the second one would be on the mentorship and support that I've received. Let me start off with meaning and fulfillment. Just a few weeks ago, I was catching up with one of my very first few clients. Okay, I can't help but to recall how we started. He was a close army colleague of mine. So when I joined his profession, he was the first few that I approached. And to me, he was like my guinea pig, right? So every time I learn a new presentation, I would go to him to practice. When we first started, I draw a timeline of his age from his age then till his retirement. And in between that, I wrote down marriage, children, traveling, some of the basic goals that one can achieve and one can experience in life. And Tammy, what did he told me after that?
I have no idea.
He said, my pattern, which is him, anyway, he looks like, the Hong Kong actor, Da Sa.
Okay.
I mean, he's very kind-hearted, he's very generous, and I have full of respect for him. He told me, this style of face can get married, man. He came from not a well-to-do family, a single parent. Father passed away when he was very young. He came out to work at a young age to support his whole family. In fact, I respect him a lot because he was the one that shouldered the responsibility and never complained about life. In fact, to me, he's someone that's very filial. He always make the best out of it. But he got a bit pessimistic about his future, especially in terms of his retirement, especially in terms of his finances, because he was having a very tight cash flow. And when he started working, he also was laden with a education loan that he had to repay. So when I first started planning with him, I shared with him he has limited resources. So he was only starting at about investing $50 every month. That was how small he started. That was close to 15 years ago. I mean, fast forward today, right? Today he's happily married with great lady. He has 2 children. His mother now is enjoying her retirement. He has his home that's fully paid up. He has amassed to close to about 300,000 with us. And when I refer him to the timeline that I draw, right, the mini goals that we have written down now all have a small little tick.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah. So many times when I met up with him, he would personally thank me and share about about the hope. So, I mean, these are really things that bring meaning, joy, and fulfillment in my practice. That I know that I can make a difference in individual, that I can help them to build up their wealth and bring hope to them. I mean, importantly, I guess it's not only allowing them to see their future, but to really experience, to me, joy and prosperity. That I believe that everyone deserves it when they take ownership of it. That's why I'm a true believer that we should do real planning for ourselves. And mind you, in the whole process, I just want to share that, not only I was treated as a professional, but I think as a good friend, someone that I can rely on and trust on. So yeah, I think meaning and fulfillment really makes whatever I do worthwhile, which is what I feel enjoyable doing every day of what I'm doing.
It looks like you found the balance between, I would say, fulfillment and the reality of the job market, right? But then again, I feel it's usually not something you can do by yourself. That's a lot of other factors, external factors around you also, that are very important. So what do you think?
Definitely, tell me. Which is why I share the second point about mentorship and support. I will never forget the timely advice that my mentor, who is the chairman of the company, what he gave me during my honeymoon. Many years ago, on the 10th of December, I remember I was flying away to Japan for my honeymoon. So earlier the year, I have set a business goal that I really wanted to achieve by the end of the year. Obviously, I haven't achieved that. So when I was in the airport, in fact, I text my mentor. I share with him my game plan, how I'm going to achieve this business goal. Because when I'm back from my honeymoon, I still have 10 days to achieve that. And you know what advice I received from my mentor? He
Well,
texts me, Tammy.
you try to tell him like you will come back and work hard, right? Maybe he will reassure you. I don't know.
Yeah. He sent me a message. I remember there was 3 sentences. The first one is, stop thinking about your work. The second one is, treat your wife like a princess. And the third one is, enjoy serving her to the fullest. I share my
Oh,
wife with that message.
if your wife see this, she will be like, yeah, this one can, this one can.
Yeah, I share with her on the spot, and she was laughing away. But I thought it was really timely, as much as I was driven, but sometimes I may lose the focus on I should be there. That moment was for my wife. And I really enjoy myself serving her, enjoying that, the trip itself. And when I came back right from this honeymoon, I got my wife full support, my business. And in fact, in less than 10 days, I clear my goals that I set. So, I mean, there's a saying, right? And I'm thankful. I'm really thankful because should I have bring along a mindset of working during that honeymoon, I guess it would have been a hard time with my wife. So I often share with my friends. There's a saying in Chinese. They say 经书易找，人师难求. So if I translate that to English, it's always easy to find books that we can upgrade ourselves, but I think it will be difficult. And it's not easy to find a life mentor to guide your life. So I really count my blessing. I'm very thankful because I found someone, rather a mentor, and I think that this is really important. And I sometimes I share my friends. Initially when I joined this business, this practice, I thought I would be learning from my mentor how to run this business, how to run it profitably, professionally. But I guess the journey in Unicorn, I think I learned how to live my life. And Unicorn is like a big family to me. No man is an island. Everyone has his ups and downs, right? And so do I. But having a group of like-minded family members, be there to support one another makes a big difference. I was having a conversation with one of our new consultants who just joined us. She was going through some challenges at home, and I know that it was not only affecting her business but also her health. I sensed something was wrong, so I decided to make some time to have a good chat with her. And she actually broke down emotionally in session, to pour out her difficulties. I advised her to take time to settle her family situation and assured her that if she need help, just let me know. She was very thankful, of course. She said that she never imagined she could have such kind of conversation with her superior. This was something that she had not experienced in her entire 15 years of working in the corporate sector. I told her, this is Unicorn, and this is what I have experienced all this while. When someone joined his family, we wanted to support them to grow holistically, be it in health, relationship, wealth. I mean, I am just passing on what my seniors have done onto me. So, yeah, I mean, emotional and mentorship support is really important to me because from the bottom of my heart, I know that there's always a family unicorn that is coming with me. So that gives me that extra motivation, that push and energy to work every day. I guess.
It sounds very exciting and rosy, and I don't know. So far, everything looks perfect, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find tougher questions to ask you right now. But although I have to say I do agree with some of the points you said because I have experienced it myself as a client, some of the values and the environment, the family that you mentioned about. But then again, I'm experiencing as a client, right? So to be a financial planner, I'm under this impression, I believe a lot of us would think the same. Isn't this just about like numbers? I need to keep getting clients, client acquisition, but then again, the market seems really saturated right now.
Yeah, there's quite a mouthful of questions within that question. But I guess one of the key concern when I hear from you was about numbers, right? Acquiring more clients, it's about this, hunting for new colleagues and things like that. I have some inputs on that, and I'd like to share some of my heartfelt feelings as I see this industry. Generally, yes, because the history of this industry has been always been focusing to reach out to more people. It has always been about, business transaction, the volume of sales. But I just share it, there's a changing emphasis in this industry, especially with the maturity of the consumer. As the industry and the consumer matured, more and more people are looking not for transaction, not for product, but for in terms of long-term partnership, in terms of someone that can really hold their hand long-term. Which is why I wanted to share that it really depends on the business model of a company that approaches this business, how their business model is built upon. Is it transactional or was it in a retainer model? I mean, I wouldn't be able to share how other companies run their business model, which one is better. I can only share with you how Unicorn run our business model, right? In fact, okay? So we believe in a model that is built upon retaining our clients, building up our clients' wealth with them over time. And the focus is really to assist PMEs, families, household, to grow their assets, to amass wealth for their retirement. And in such one of the main remuneration models that we have works on the client's assets that we are managing. Call it AUA, which means assets under advice. Currently, Unicorn manages close to about 420 million. We collect a professional management fee every year. So this money, which is important as we grow our clients' wealth, be it in terms of their regular savings or be it in terms of the return of investment that we have diligently delivered over time. I mean, the profitability of an individual consultant will grow as well. So it's a case whereby, clients build their wealth, they win, we win ourselves. And let me just put that in perspective to share with the audience on this, because this is something that I love to share with my consultant about how sustainable, how viable our business model is, and it's a vision that we work to.
Yeah, I think sustainability is pretty important because when I asked about numbers game, it means like I have to keep doing it, right? So yes, please share.
Yeah. Exactly. Let me just share about a simple goal, a simple vision that I want to encapsulate and share with friends. Can we have the PowerPoint up? Yes, thanks. So the goal that I always share with a consultant is actually just to acquire 100 trusted clients or household in 2 years' time. You invite them in this partnership for long term. We're talking about in 2 years' time. So on average, one a week going out, and I think this number is very conservative. And if you were to help them to save and invest 20% of their income, I mean, I put a conservative combined household, 100,000 a year, that would be toward 20,000. That would means that over the next 25 years, we would be able to amass close to 500,000 without any investment return for their clients for the retirement. And in fact, and that's what we are doing for our clients. And I put that in perspective with return on investment. You should see in the next chart. See how this, in the next chart? Yeah, you will see how this business model grow. From year 1 until year 25, the total business growth that you have amassed with our clients and the assumed ROI with the earlier assumption will be that of a total of 85 million AUA. You see the figure? Next up. And next one more. So that will be a total of 85 million. And that means these are the hard-earned money that our clients we have helped our clients to accumulate. that will also means they will be able to achieve their retirement. What that means for consultant would that they will be having a management fee, which is a recurring income of close to $500,000 a year. I mean, to me, that's very profitable. That's very viable. And there's a total income over the last 25 years that will be 6.2 million. So yeah, I think this is really a model, a long-term business model that is built on sustainability and built on helping individual clients to build up their wealth. And which is why I always share with friends about why is it so important to understand the business model and how we are having. I hope that that gave Kenny this perspective on how. So going back to the question, to put it short, to me, the business model may not be just about acquiring new clients. Of course, at the beginning, we need to acquire and gain trust from our friends to start this partnership, but it's more of retaining our clients, doing well for them. So yeah, that's all I thought about this model.
Thank you, Wei Sing. I mean, this numbers got my eyes really big right now. It's like, looks like can do, yeah, can. But
But
then
you have
again,
to have a long-term perspective, Tanny, which is why I think this is important. A lot of friends ask me the market is saturated, which is just not the point I shared. I shared with them is really getting 100 friends who trust you activated. We're talking about 5 million population in Singapore, right? We have 100 friends to trust you. I think we are very much. And if you are
can,
really looking
my
from,
my Facebook got like 4,000 friends.
yeah. I mean, and that's why I always share with my friends that, especially when you're talking about in a global perspective, some people share with me, we know that there's an economic pendulum swing that's moving from the west to the east. Basically with the emergence of China and India, we all know that wealth is going to be in Singapore is going to be the financial hub center to attract massive wealth here. So wealth management is really here to prosper. I really see a huge potential in this business. The demand for such profession to assist PME and mass affluence. So when a practitioner has a long-term perspective of building wealth, I feel that his journey is going to be prosperous. This is something
So friends who are just joining us, or friends who are joining us halfway, remember that you can actually type in the chat if you have any question or any response that you have about what Wei Sing is sharing, or perhaps anything you might want to ask me to ask Wei Sing on your behalf. And I just like to check for friends over here if you can hear Wei Sing, is the audio like super fine for you? Because I do get sometimes where I don't fully hear Wei Sing, but let me know if you're in the chat. Let me know if it's totally fine for you, or maybe it's just on my side. Meanwhile, I have the next difficult question, because you told me about all this. I saw the numbers. It's like I like what you said about the culture, the support system. One thing I felt it was. Okay, so yeah, sometimes cannot hear it too, so we
I see.
gotta take
Is it
note.
better now?
I know why, because the information too sad already. The microphone cannot take you.
I don't know. I have my guys who set up the system here. I'm just relying on the internet bandwidth. I try to speak a little bit slower. I think that helps.
Yeah, I think right now it's fine. If I hear it again, I'll point it out to you.
Thanks, Tammy.
So when you move a bit, then cannot hear. Oh, okay. So okay, my burning question, okay. Because a lot of people had told me, hey, Tammy, you got network lah, you got 4,000 friends in Facebook. You can speak well, that's what people's impression, right? You need to speak well, you need to look decent and everything. I think can, but why are people like me or people who are interested in the business are not actually going for it? Because for me, and I believe a lot of us over here also, we find it very common, have a must-have for all sales job to have a sales quota. I personally don't like the stress of hitting sales quota, right? I believe a lot of people would feel that too. So how is it like for unicorn planners? How much stress do you give them when it comes to your sales quota?
That's an interesting one. I personally don't like sales quota as well, really. Maybe to have the input for your question, 3 points. The first one, in Unicorn, we don't have a business quota, but we have a service quota. Let me elaborate. We have a service quota instead of a business quota, because every time when a clients choose to place their trust and confidence in us and start this partnership, I think it's important that we serve them well, which is why as a company, we audit, make sure if our consultant meet up with our clients to do review every year. Update then when there's a change in terms of investment call, we have to reach out to them because they are the one that choose to trust us and we have to do that. So in Unicorn, we have this thing called service quota. But on that point, business quota, which leads to the second point, I think it's really much applicable and makes sense about what is your individual situation, your individual purpose of you joining this practice. You know, we have a fair share of friends who came over here as a refinement plan. We have Mr. Leong in our family who is retiring. So you know, the pace is running. He have amassed certain wealth. He doesn't really need this business income to sustain his daily living expenses. Whereas if you compare someone who is just graduated, he came in here, you know, with his, you know, gusto and really want to break through in his career. So he works even harder. So I think this business quota or sales quota, I think we shouldn't be, it should be a case where it comes to individual. What is your situation and how do you want to run this practice professionally and profitably? So that is my
Wei
second.
Sing, sorry, can you just be a little bit closer so I can hear all of your words? Yes.
Okay. Does that sounds better?
Yes.
Okay. But I just want to add on to the third point, which is to me is important, because when most people will say that, well, it's pushy, you know, you're going for sales and things like that. I just want to share some heartfelt feeling of why, as a consultant, especially as a financial planner, we do need to have a sense of urgency. You know, research has shown that most people fail in their finances primarily because of this word called procrastination. I feel a lot about it because recently I visited my friend. Fortunately, she has stroke. She was down with stroke and she was only 42 years old. First this October this year, the government initiated this thing called CareShield Life, which is a severe disability insurance. I told my team, you know, quickly reach out to our friends because the earlier they implement, the better it is because we never know what crisis will happen. So to a certain extent, from the aspect of consultant, we do need to have a sense of urgency, but that urgency comes with the client's interest, client-centric. We wanted to let them know aware of what could be a potential risk, what could be the potential loss or cost of procrastinating. So yes, on the last point, sense of urgency is very important as well. So with that in mind, I think that comes from education to our consultant, so that when they reach out to their clients, they know it is reaching out to them for their clients' benefit, not to hit their own quota.
I do agree that's very important because even though like there's no particular quota, it depends on your personal purpose other than service quota. But if I am the client and my planner has no sense of urgency, let's say for the casual line, right, I'll be like, you sure you really care about me? So we say thank you for your answer. I still have difficult questions, okay? Even though so far you have done very well. Don't relax yet. And if you have any questions over here, friends listening, feel free to type in the chat. We will address it as we go by. So, what is you think is, because today is our R factor, right? What is the R factor you think a unicorn financial planner should have?
R vector. Okay. It doesn't start with the letter R. That's just to
Okay,
prove
lah, okay,
our
lah. Let
point.
you pass to have R's, okay.
We started this event with R factor, but not R factor. To a certain extent, there is a lot of model answer from successful entrepreneurs, you know, and I don't think mine would deviate too far. But to me, what stands out most is this three aspect, which I share with a lot of my friends. The first one is sincerity. The second one would be hardworking. The third one is humility. Let me just briefly share point by point. Sincerity, for a very simple reason, because this profession is a very human-based service. Very often we get to connect with our friends in a very intimate way. We get to understand about their personal finances, personal values. So people can really feel that if you are genuinely wanting to serve them. Yeah, so this is really important. There's always a saying, right? Clients don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So to me, the first thing is really sincerity is important. So when I meet my friends, I just want to be real to them. I want to be authentic. Yes, I'm sharing with them a service, but I really think that this service can make a big difference in their life. So point number one, sincerity. Point number two, hardworking. I'm a believer of hardworking. In Chinese, we call it 勤能补拙, right? It is I mean, nowadays, a lot of young friends always tell me you should work smart. I'm a believer that, working hard lays the foundation before we work smart. We work hard first, you see. Even in the Bible, there's many verses that mention about, lazy people want much, but they get little. Those who work hard will prosper. So hard work in terms of wanting to progress yourself better. So I think that is inevitable, which leads me to the third point. I think it's important. I call it humility, because I think one can't be complacent. We have to continue to learn and progress, especially in our business. We're talking about a long-term partnership. I think we cannot afford not to progress so that we can continue to grow and add value to our clients. So humility is about serve with pride and joy, continuously getting off a comfort zone. Doing webinars, doing live conference is never something I used to do it. But well, we have to have this humility to understand times change, we need to progress. And I think this is one of the very important aspect as well. So in summary, 3 points: sincerity, hardworking, and of course, humility.
Very well said. I do agree. I mean, not just I think these are qualities that maybe Unicorn is looking for. I think it's qualities that we need that to do well in life in general, I think. Okay.
Mm.
But then again, I think it's still not easy to be a financial planner. Even if you have all these going on, I still see people who don't stay very long, and it's very often that they dropped out, especially the younger ones. Right?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about this?
The younger one dropping out. Oh, it's a tough industry.
Yeah, it may be because some people just don't match. It maybe because I don't know. It's an industry that we think it's easy, but when you get to it, it's like difficult.
Mm, mm, mm.
What's actually happening?
I never share with friends that it's a bit of roses, first of all. In fact, just a few months ago, when I was speaking to a candidate, I told her all the challenges upfront. It's going to go through if you join this industry. And if she's not ready, I told her, don't try. I mean, let me put it this way. It is also not easy to be a celebrity and a TV artist, right?
Of course, especially like me.
I mean, much as you are, enjoying yourself, I really believe that behind the scene, all your hard work, your
Yes.
dedication, your preservation, the list goes on.
Mm.
Right? I mean, every profession has its difficulties. So to me, what stands out most maybe is this 2 point. I call it purpose and growing mindset. Let me just elaborate on purpose. I have a deep respect for mothers. Okay? Uh, Going through that 10 months of pregnancy is never easy. I know now I know why there's a song called 世上只有妈妈好. No such thing called 世上只有爸爸好, right? My wife is one of them. She delivered 3 lovely girls for the family. The process of pregnancy was definitely challenging and tiring. I witnessed the whole process. But the key thing here I want to share is that we believe the purpose behind it. We see the meaning behind what we are doing, that we are bringing up alive. We believe that we can add value to this newborn baby and we can contribute and let it contribute back to the family or the society. So that really keeps us going despite the challenges. I mean, so relate that to this profession, right? If one is coming on board just to earn quick money, without understanding the responsibility, without understanding the purpose and the meaning of what this profession is all about, most of the time I felt that he will quit at the first time. So I used to share with my friends that there's a price, PRICE, to pay for any price, PRIZE. So we ask not about the price, but is the price worthy of your pursuit? So my take is always that this is very simple, but it's not easy. This profession may not be for everyone, but it is really very rewarding for those who see the purpose and are willing to go for it. So the very first point when people shared about, difficult, I would share that going back to the purpose. But the second point, maybe I just add on, is about this growing mindset. Because definitely there are many things to pick up. There are many skill sets that a financial planner have to learn, be it from the technical skills, like, punching the numbers, analyzing numbers. Some friends just say that I don't like numbers. Some people just like numbers. But, we got to know about some numbers because this is our bread and butter. That's our profession. We need to also understand different terminologies, definition of insurance, investment research and advisory. That's the hard skills, the technical skills. You still have our soft skills in terms of communication, in terms of EQ, in terms of time management. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? Never ending, right? So the only constant I feel is this thing called change. I was sharing, right, before COVID, I wasn't even doing any video conference. Now we have to even do webinars. So having this growing and learning mindset is important. Interestingly, I want to share with Tammy here, and a lot may not know. I used to stammer a bit. Okay, I used to, and I was quite shy speaking to ladies, especially Tammy in this case. I work in SAF, Singapore Armed Forces, and in the past I only speak to guys. I give instruction and I command people to move around. So that was my background. So when I came on board as a financial planner, I recall an interesting experience. I got a chance to have a lunch talk in an oil and gas company. When I was there, I discovered that majority of the audience was from Australia. They have the Aussie essence, might, and all these things. I was pretty young in this business. I got a bit nervous before I start the session. So I told this to the audience, before I start. I said, hi everyone, please pardon me and have your understanding that I speak Singlish. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, kindly stop me and clarify. There was a gentleman sitting in the last row. He was like holding on. Hey, no worry, man. We have been in Singapore for a long while. We can understand your Singlish, your lay law. You know how I replied him? I said, thank you, sir, for your empathy. I appreciate that. As much as you could understand my Singlish, I ask a favor that you could speak a bit slower so that I can understand your good English. So a lot of people told me that the prerequisite in this business is to able to speak well. I would think that yes, we need to communicate because we are speaking to people. I just want to share, it's really about this growing, this learning mindset that we must have. Different people comes with different strength, different weakness. I mean, Tammy, you have a strength, I have my weakness. We all have our blind spot. So to me, the very important thing here is about willingness to learn, willingness to grow. There's a quote that says, right, the capacity to learn is a gift, the ability to learn is a skill, and the willingness to learn is a choice. So to me, the willingness to learn is a choice, and if someone to take ownership in learning, that's where the chances of him failing is really, really low. So yeah, so I thought this growing mindset is really important, Hemi.
So you talked about purpose, you talked about growing mindsets. So I think in your perspective, this is something that it's really important for people to want to stay long or before even decide to join. Okay.
Yes.
So I mean,
probably one thing, Tammy, let me just share this, since we talk about failing in this industry, right? We talk about dropout rate and things like that. I just want to share this metaphor or this perspective education between what we call risk and opportunity. Often than not in investment, we talk wei ji ma, with wei means danger. With danger, there's opportunity. I just thought of sharing this a slide that I've learned before, that I've chanced upon many years ago, that let me understand the perspective of risk or failure. How come a lot of people are taking failure too hard on themselves? I call it the power of choice. Maybe you can show this chart to our audience now. Great, thank you. Because this was one of the critical thing that when I knew about it, I make a decision from it. I call it the power of choice. Let's say assuming someone that is 30 years old this year, and he chose to retire age 60, this will be the next 30 years. And he chose to invest 1 year of his time. He put in his heart and soul into dedication, and he put in hard work, I just mentioned, humility and sincerity. He invested for 1 year and he really succeed. What you will have is to enjoy the next 29 years, quite 29 years of joy and prosperity. I believe that many of our colleagues now are going through that. So that is when you succeed. But what happens when you fail? Let's say, for example, the same person, he choose to waste the 1 year. Instead of investing that 1 year, he choose to waste. Why he waste it? Because he was being lazy, he was stubborn, he doesn't want to learn new things, and he became a hypocrite. So what will happen to the next 29 years? What will do? My question then will be, what will you do if you fail in that 1 year?
I mean, you still have
Actually,
29 years. It's not like the world is over.
yeah, you still have 29 years. But my thought was that you will go back to work, right? You eventually just go back to find a job, 9 to 5, and work. So my question over here is there a big difference between working for 29 years and working for 30 years?
No, I don't see like barely any difference.
So what I'm trying to put that in perspective is that you invest that 1 year. If the opportunities allows you and you really put your soul and heart into it, you can exchange for 29 years of joy and prosperity. But even if you fail, there isn't a huge difference between working for 29 years and 30 years. So when my daughters, when they were starting to learn how to walk, they don't mind falling, because that is really about how, we learn. And John C. Maxwell also say, you will fail forward. So I just want to share with friends about the perspective of failing, perspective that, it's not about failing. You learn more about yourself. You are willing to give yourself this opportunity. So I thought that is something that can be quite meaningful. And that was the sort of perspective education that got onto me so many years ago.
Thank you, Wei. I think that part really got me thinking, because I'm the kind of person who values stability a lot. Like, is it worth the risk? Like, what happens? I waste 1 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
suddenly, like, not so big deal. Like, after all, okay. But that aside, I think this session, just with you sharing, even though it's a little bit tougher, my questions, I think I've learned quite a few things from you today. So I think I have been a client for Unicorn with Unicorn about a decade right now, and through you and through my financial planner, which I have been with for very long, my very good friend, I feel that's a lot of good values, a lot of things that I've learned, school of thoughts in Unicorn that provided a lot of value to me. I think I learned a lot as a person. So how about you? I'm pretty sure because you're in the family, I'm just a client, right? You in this circle. What do you think it's really valuable that you have learned in Unicorn that perhaps you would like to share a bit more nuggets of gold for me?
Anything about unicorns? I mean, this thing just came into my mind now. We were having a short session with our chairman. Just record about what he shared with me so many years ago. And it's always have his mission. Remember, I shared about how the beautiful relationship with the clients, and that with my wife, treat my wife like a princess. I remember when he started this family, he always tell us that as a leader of this organization, he has two goals. The first one is to bring us back to our parents. 作业归根嘛，饮水要思源. That's where our rootage is, to serve our family well. That's his first mission. Then the second mission is actually he wanted every one of us go back to the society to contribute back. Because 举世社会用之社会嘛, this is where we are, able to run a smooth business because of this environment that we're in. Yeah, that was something that just triggered to me as you were sharing about this unique thing about unicorn. But today, I thought I want to also bless our audience here to share this thing called the art of living. Earlier, I mentioned about in unicorn, I learned not about running this business, but about learning art of living. Maybe I can share this slide with everyone. Can we just show these three pillars, which is something that resonate and matters to me a lot. I call it the art of living. So in life, I always believe that there are three pillars. The first one will be, I call it health, which is very important. The second one would be relationship. Relationship with yourself, with God, if you are a believer, with a family, with your loved ones. And the third pillar would be wealth. have the enough financial resources, enough resources to buy things that you like. So the interesting thing about, you see there are a few overlaps over here. So when you have relationship and health, what does this mean? See, there's this gap, right? It means that you have this thing called sense of belonging. 归属感. You feel that you belong to somewhere because you have good health and you have relationship with the people that you're working with. On the other spectrum, when you have relationship and wealth, what would you be having? You have this thing called sense of achievement. You have both relationship and wealth. You need this. But what happens if you have health and wealth? I call that sense of security. 这个安全感, because you are healthy and you have resources to join your life what you want. I guess what we all aspire in life is in the center. I call that sense of fulfillment. Chinese, you call it 满足感. So in planning for our clients, in fact, that's what I always aspire to be. In fact, Tammy, today, if I ask you, Tammy, if you are healthy, free of illnesses, free of pain, and that you have good relationship, with yourself, with a family, with your loved ones, and that you have money to buy things that you like, look forward to provide for your loved ones, how unhappy would you be, Tammy?
应该就快乐似神仙。
I guess a lot of time in planning, in living, I guess that is something that's very unique to me. So I learned that whatever I do in my life every day, I always told myself, is whatever I do, having strengthening or anchoring on this 3 pillar. At times, it may be geared towards some spectrum, but I guess ultimately it's about living life is holistic. So yeah, if you ask me about this unique thing that I've garnered in Unicorn, that would be this art of living with these 3 pillars.
Thank you, Racing. I still get a little bit cut off sometimes, so remember to be closer to the camera. I would say closer to me, but obviously we're not. So closer to the camera. Okay, I do agree on this part. Like if I have all 3, it would be quite ideal. Okay, but then again, I still want more nuggets of gold from you. If there's one advice which you like to share with me, with our friends here today, what would be something that you would say?
So last piece of advice. Okay, thanks, Tammy. For a while we have spoken, for a while I know that we have really spent about 45 minutes chatting with one another. That's cool. If there's any last piece of advice, I really feel that look for an organization that has their value that resonate with you, especially their vision, their culture, and their people. And it's important to do your homework. What do I mean? Explore deeper beyond the so-called marketing pitch, the brand promise, or the company motto. Some people just I feel about it. Look for congruency. Check out the organization, check out their people. I always tell my friends, don't hear from me, hear from our staff, hear from our clients and our friends. Are they true to their words? Do they eat what they cook? Do they have a proven record? Is there a success system in place? Do they advocate a holistic growth? So I think it's important, which is why also we open up to have session to let people know more about us, hear from us, really, hear from the horse's mouth and interact with us. Only when you find this congruency, only when you find that their values resonate in you, then you should proceed on. That's where the second point, which is so important, is that when you have done your homework, my greatest advice is follow your heart. Follow your gut feel. There's no perfect decision. There's only a life that's worth living. So to me, live life to a fullest, with the least regret. That's something I really give the last piece of advice to our friends here.
That I agree. It's usually very hard to make decisions, but it's always more important to have action than to have perfection sometimes.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, it's very important to find the organization that actually matches your values and not just the sales pitch, the marketing pitch. But then what again, like if I know what the organization have, but what do we need? Let's say if I want to join, what's important as a financial planner in Unicorn, that 3 things, right? Okay, let me see whether I got it correct. So the 3 values would be, you have to be hardworking, right? You have to be sincere, cannot be a fake person, must be as sincere as Tammy Chu. And you must be humble. The humble part, I own self cut off already. Just now I brag about myself. So maybe humility, I'm not so much, right? Okay, jokes aside. I really think it's very important to find an organization that you want to, that matches your value, that it's something that it's familiar, I mean, in line with you. But then again, we wouldn't actually know until you find the chance to know more, to ask more, to interact more with the people inside. So therefore, friends, I want to share something with you right now. um, well, because we Sing talked about this, right? So if you want to ask more, I'm pretty sure a lot of us have a lot more questions about what we shared today. Unicorn is holding a session next week on Saturday as well, which is 1 week later. It's called the R Breakfast. It's a get together where we can chat and discuss openly about today's topic. To see, talk to the people around whether this organization, whether Unicorn, it matches your values. And this is a limited, because we have limited space, right? It's still phase 2. So this is a first come, first serve basis. We have up to 10 packs that we can invite to have a little bit of chit chat, to discuss, to forge new friendships, or to strengthen the ones that you already have. So it's on the 12th of December, Saturday, which is 1 week later. It's at 9:30 a.m. Not p.m. A.m. People. Breakfast, okay? So all you have to do is to scan the QR code. But once again, we have limited space. So I highly encourage you to faster scan the QR code. We have up to 10 packs. And we Sing will be there. I think I will be there. I have questions actually, we Sing. And maybe also directed at other people. So come and chill with us. We had previous sessions in 3rd of October, and we had 7th of November previously. So it's a very intimate session. We chill over breakfast. You can share your concerns, ask questions. Very enjoyable. It's about 1.5 hours or so. So am I correct, we Sing? You're gonna be there?
Yeah, I will definitely be there. I love enjoying speaking to new friends, and maybe I just want to have a shout out over here. I'm very thankful to have so much audience with us today. Spending their precious Saturday to listen to me. Sharing about my own experience. I hope just my small experience can be valuable to our friends over here. But I just want to have a shout out on why are we doing this? Because we are really looking for friends that share and believe values what we are doing. It just happened that you have any concern within yourself. It just happened that you wanted to find out more. I just want to encourage you to explore more, find out more, because it's not about always keeping out in a comfort zone. I share my friends, it's so important not to ignore the inner voice that we are having. I just share some basic real experience. A lot of people now are having heart, they just collapse. Their body just collapse out of nowhere because they are ignoring their body. Our body is always giving us signal. Sometimes when we are sick, they give us signal to be rest. So there's always this inner voice that speaks to us. I just want to have a shout out that if we're looking for good people that share the same value with us, but if there's something that resonates within yourself, you wanted to explore more. COVID has teach us something. I mean, teach everyone a lesson that nothing is permanent. Change is on the way, and we have to embrace that. And if there's something that resonates with me, address it, don't ignore it. I'm not talking only about joining us in this profession. I'm talking about all aspects of our life. Make time for your career. Make time for your relationship to your friends to the loved ones that you cherish. Make time for them. Make time for your health. Do something about it. And this is the greatest wish and reason why we wanted this session. And I believe that it's really not about this webinar that people can know us. Maybe you can say we Sing is just giving a model answer. Come to explore us. Come to find out and chat with us. Chat with Tammy to find out from us what do I mean by hardworking. Some people say, "Oh, we Sing very hardworking. You only work half a day." One day is 24 hours, right? So half a day is 12 hours. No day, no night, is it? So what is sincerity? Sincerity being sincerity, sarcastic. Some people are very sincere in being hypocrite. I mean, very sincere to poke people. I mean, to me, there are many dimensions. The word, sometimes we just interpret it from there. What is humility? To me, just now probably Amy will say, well, I'm not humble because I'm praising myself. I think to me, the humility here is to really change yourself. Because if you're very happy with yourself, don't change. If you're not happy with yourself, do something about it. Have this humility and to really think that, look, I can be better. I want to be a better self. So yeah, I just want to have a shout out to friends whom are here with us today to spend this precious Saturday. I just want to appeal to you. If your life is worth living, the future is worth pursuing. Goals are worth achieving. Yeah, a lot.
Thank you, Wei. I think you brought about a few very important points, which I very much agree. This session is not just about exploring to be part of Unicorn. There are also other things that also very important as well. So just all you have to do once again, because I MC, right, I have to say it once again, okay? First come, first serve for 10 packs. And because we have limited space, it's on the 12th of December. Coming Saturday at 9:30 a.m. I wonder what food will be served. Just saying, a very realistic one. Okay, anyway. Okay, so this one is our breakfast, but today's session is R Factor, and we're doing this every single month. So next month, the R Factor, we will be doing on the 9th of January, which is also a Saturday, same timing at 3 o'clock. I will still be hosting, but we will have a similar topic, but perhaps different speaker. You feel free to join us for next month, and also please invite your friends as well who thinks that it's going through a more difficult time, or in the same era where we're thinking about, hey, there's this reality of the current job market and stuff. This R Factor is what we talk about, the current job market, and then we explore things together, share our views together as well. So Wei Sing, thank you so much for joining me and still being such a gem, even though I was a little bit harsh on you. Not much, just a little bit. Thanks for sharing all your thoughts. And friends over here, thank you so much for joining us for R Factor. Love to see you next Saturday and next month as well. Everybody have a good weekend, and we will see you next month or next week. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, while we are leaving, we're just gonna play some music in the background and continue some chit chat just for fun. Like after all the variety shows, we have all the behind the scenes. 艺人开始跟大家讲话. We can just continue the chat while people are leaving. Don't mind we sing.
Okay.
Just for fun. This one, will be recorded lah, but we won't play the next part when we are chit chatting.
So you should turn the table aside now. Now it's my turn to interrogate.
Wow, interrogate. Wow, this one. Sure. Ask ahead. I let you be the MC. We reverse the role for a bit.
Okay. Thanks a lot for assisting us to host this session. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Hi, you got no question for me. And never mind. Then I say hi, bye to everybody. Malcolm say thank you. Pauline say thank you. Desmond say thank you. And then Andy said thank you as well. Ting Guan Nin say thank you. Maurice, Christabel, Lee saying thank you, everybody. So no question. Then I got a question for you, Wising. You were definitely more nervous when the camera was just on. But right now, do you feel all relaxed and everything?
Yes, definitely. Now, I was worried not to be able to engage our friends enough. I prepared a lot to share. But I guess sometimes less is more, right? I was often being told by friends, what is more important is what's applicable to the listener. I was trying very much to feel for the listener, but I guess they are more shy today. No question asked.
I feel we actually touched very important key points, because like I said, the questions I asked, I actually think it's pretty tough. It's not something that you can, like kind of bait it and answer kind of questions. 就是那种要有真材实料才可以回答的人. And I'm very thankful that you did it very well. Like 不愧是 veteran 15年.
So Qing was saying that I think he just left a message just now, right? You directed to you. No quota here, Tammy. You can reconsider. Thanks a lot, Tammy. Thanks. Well, really, if next Saturday you are free, we'll be more happy to have you. Really.
I would love to join. I do have questions and things that I want to, ask about. So I would love to drop by and enjoy our breakfast with everybody.
Okay, we will make sure that the breakfast is sumptuous.
Hey, you heard me. For friends who are still around.
Is there music?
Huh?
Is there music being played?
No music. You play lah. You play music. The emo song you said you wanted to play. I still have 7 attendees over here. I know you don't want to leave yet because we're so entertaining. But after a while, I will have to kick you out.
Bye, everyone. We gotta
Bye bye,
go.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
Slightly hungover, slightly hungover you. Slightly hungover.